Hello my lovelies! For today's video, we are going to be starting a new little series here on my channel, and that is going to be surrounding the new Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Vault collection. So I do have that here with me. I bought the full set on the day it launched. There's been a lot of drama surrounding these palettes. I haven't had a chance to play with them too much yet. I have used the Armed and Gorgeous palette and I really liked it. Not a ton of problems, but what I think we're going to do is give each palette a video, and then I'll give you my thoughts on each palette, and at the end we'll talk about the set as a whole. Okay, so I have played with the Armed and Gorgeous palette, so I don't want to start with that one today. I think we're going to go with the Bling Boss palette, which is kind of the purple toned palette. Look at it here. Really gorgeous. This purple shade stands out a bunch. Lots of really pretty pinky shimmer shades. I also really love this color Hush Hush right here. It reminds me of one of my favorite colors from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. And I haven't swatched anything in here yet. I haven't really done anything, so I'm excited to see how this one goes. I don't know if you've watched her video or other people's videos, but for each palette it does have little like colored circles. I don't know if you can tell. So this one has little purple dots, and then it does have the Bling Boss label as well to help you identify which palette it is without having to open each one. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and jump into the actual eyeshadow look. So I have already primed my eyes, and I actually am going to just take a skin tone-ish shade for me, just to kind of blank out my eyes. I am going to reach into the Dark Magic palette for this because I know that it works well. And I'm going to go into the shade Poof. Just going to take that on a big fluffy brush and get that all over my lid. Okay, so with that shade all over the lid, we are going to start with the Hush Hush shade just because that is kind of the best transition shade in the palette. And let's see. Ooh, dropping things. I am going to go in with just a big fluffy brush with a cat hair on it. Big fluffy brush, and we are just going to start blending that into the crease. I do want to just mention while I'm here that I love the mirrors in these palettes. It's something that a lot of people complained about with her first palette, that there wasn't a mirror in there. So I love that each individual palette here has a mirror. Makes them a little better for travel. Okay, so there's kind of one layer. I'm having no problems blending it out. It is a little bit lighter than I want, so I'm going to go in with a slightly more dense brush and just blend that right over top of where we just did. Okay, so there's no real obvious shade for me to go into next. I think Mystic is going to be our darkest matte, so I kind of have to choose between either Rockstar or Sparks. And I really want to use that bright purple. So I think we're going to go with Rockstar. Yeah, we're going to go with the shade Rockstar, which is the middle matte. And I'm actually going to take it on that same brush I just used. And we are going to blend that into the crease. I know with the original palettes, this was one of the shades people had problems with, so I am curious to see how it works out. Okay, so it's definitely not the most pigmented shade, and it actually looks more purple than I thought it would compared to how it looks in the pan. It's not like, I mean, it feels a little dry, but it's not like awful. I think a lot of people have really high expectations for it just because of how amazing the first palette was. And I think that's kind of where a lot of the drama is coming from. But I mean, I don't hate it, so we're gonna keep on going. kind of need to decide what I'm going for here. I think we're gonna go in with the shade Mystic next on kind of a more dense flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to build this on the outer V area and see how that goes. It looks really pigmented on the brush. You can't see because it's a dark brush, but okay, so there is that Rockstar shade, or sorry, Mystic, puts up on the outer corner. I mean, it's not awful, it's not amazing, but it's nothing I haven't ever had to do with another palette where you kind of build it up and then blend it out, so still not really seeing too many issues. I think we're gonna go in with the shade Ballsy, which is this one right here. I'm just going to take that on my finger and start to build that up on my lid. Okay, now with that on, we're going to go back and just kind of build up our little blend there. Make sure everything blends nicely. Okay, so we've kind of re-blended everything. I did have a little trouble in this outer corner rebuilding up my Mystic shade. It was a little patchy in one spot I didn't really want to stick. I did feel like the shade Ballsy applied pretty well. It felt really creamy on the fingers. And I feel like overall it looks pretty good on the lid. So next, we are going to take the shade Bling Bling, which is right there, again on my finger, and I'm going to kind of keep that to the center. Well, we're gonna see. I'm either gonna put it on the center or I'm gonna put it on the inner corner and kind of blend out. It feels really creamy. Okay, so I feel like Bling Bling is just a more like shimmery, sparkly version of Ballsy. They do look very similar in the palette. So I guess it's just kind of which finish you're wanting. I feel like they're pretty close. But Bling Bling does apply beautifully to the eye. Really easily, really creamy. So that's a good one for sure. I think we're going to leave our top lid for right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of my face on, and then we will work on our lower lash line. Okay, so I have my brows on, my base on, face set. We're gonna go ahead and jump and do that lower lash line. Sorry, just trying to find the right brush. So I think we're gonna start. We're gonna use this little small fluffy brush in the Hush Hush shade that we used very first in our crease. And I'm gonna start blending that out on the lower lash line. So far the color scheme is really reminding me of the Modern Renaissance palette, just like slightly more purpley. So I think we're gonna take a teeny bit of Rockstar and just put that on the very outer corner of the lower lash line. Okay, now I want want to incorporate this really pretty gem shade somehow, the like bright purple. So I think we're gonna take that maybe on the lower lash line. Okay, so I think it does apply better with a finger, but then you just have to like blend it out. Okay, so I feel like that made our bottom lash line very heavy, so I want to add a little bit of liner to the top lash. Ooh, if I don't throw it on the ground first. So we're gonna go and try and not mess everything up with some liquid liner. Okay, so I definitely liked it better before the liner. I'm a little rusty with the liquid liner, so apparently I need to work on that. So I just did like a little tiny flick. I didn't want to do a big wing liner because it's very like smoky, but I feel like we had to add a little bit of darkness to the upper lid. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and curl my lashes, and then I'm going to be wearing 2 mascaras today, starting with the Too Faced Better Than Sex, and then adding a little bit of the Maybelline, the Colossal Volume Express. Okay, so I curled my lashes, and then I realized that we didn't finish the inner corner. I'm going to take the Bling Bling shade, which is what is all over our lid, and I'm going to build that up on the inner corner so we can see how it applies with a little brush here. Okay, so I just kind of put that all over and even blended it down onto that bottom inner corner, just to kind of tie everything together. And then I'm actually going to kind of cheat and jump into the Armed and Gorgeous palette for the VIP shade that is gorgeous. It's like the most white, bright highlight. And we're gonna pop that just in the very inner corner. Like, look at the difference that makes. It's crazy. Okay, so that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think if you've tried these palettes. I think they're good. They're definitely not amazing, but I don't think they're really awful either. And I feel like $15 for a palette is pretty good. There's definitely more expensive ones out there, and I feel like the quality is good enough that it's worth the money. But yeah, let me know if you guys have used them, what you think, what palette is your favorite from the set. I've only used the 2 so far. I would definitely pick the Armed and Gorgeous over this one, but I still think it's a fairly good palette. So let me know down below. Also let me know if there is a specific palette you would like to see next out of the 4. And I will see you guys in my next video.